Good evening. I want to thank Andrea Batista Schlesinger. I got that reversed. Sorry, Andrea. I want to thank her for that very warm introduction. And as a Queens boy, it's always great to get back to New York City. And it's certainly nice to be back at the Drum Major Institute, where I first visited in March of 2006, 3 months after being elected mayor of Buffalo and starting my tenure as the 58th mayor of this city. I remember then the topic I was asked to address in my remarks was the challenges of urban America and how we put a re-envisioned urban agenda on the national landscape. This is also an appropriate topic for my introduction and presentation of David Simon, the acclaimed author, journalist, and creator of the HBO series The Wire. Clearly, David Simon, through his award-winning writing, including several groundbreaking television series, has placed the discourse and dialogue of life in American cities on the front burner of several media formats, and also in the front burner of our minds and our consciousness. His compelling, thought-provoking, and unvarnished depiction of life in the city of Baltimore has clearly hit a chord with the American viewing public, which reminds us that you don't necessarily have to be completely familiar with the subject to ultimately identify with the content, or, even more importantly, actually feel empathy for the characters depicted in programs such as Homicide, Life on the Street, The Corner, and certainly now, The Wire. What David Simon has achieved is what all artists, whether they are writers, composers, or actors, hope to achieve when presenting their work. He has tapped in to our conscious and subconscious feelings, and he has profoundly moved us. He has taken very frank and sometimes disturbing images and actions, and he has presented this material in a manner that demands attention. Even if one is living in suburban or rural communities, I doubt viewers from these areas can avoid very visceral responses to what they viewed in the television programs created by David Simon. As important, David Simon also reminds us just how vital, diverse, dynamic, and exhilarating cities are. And while his stories have always been set in Baltimore, they might as well be in any city you can think of in America. They might as well be in cities like Buffalo. I can tell you as mayor of Buffalo, and having watched The Wire, and as someone who watches The Wire, the stories are more than just stories. They're real. And for someone like me who is in this position, it is a reminder to me of how critically important the work is that I do every day in trying to find solutions to the problems that people deal with in our urban communities. There are many similarities between Baltimore and Buffalo. And in fact, when I was first elected, I visited Baltimore several times to look at some of their best practices and some of the things that were happening in that community. One of the things that they did was something called CityStat. It's a program to bring greater accountability to government. And we adopted that system in Buffalo, and it has revolutionized the way we deliver government services in Buffalo. But as I indicated, as an elected official, there is a temptation to tell only the good stories, to try to talk about those things that you have accomplished. And programs like The Wire, and The Wire in particular, really is a reminder. It jerks you back into the reality that there's more work that needs to be done, that the stories that you look at on this program are real. And I thank David Simon for bringing this kind of drama to television and into our homes and into the American consciousness. And so it gives me great pride to be here this evening with the Drum Major Institute, its friends, and its supporters, and to present the Drum Major for Justice Award to David Simon.